принципе, можно.
Every single day, our dog spends hours playing with a wild fox. They chase each other all over the yard, wrestle like brothers, dig holes together, and when they're finally worn out, they curl up nose to nose for a nap. The strange part is that Fox could leave anytime he wants. There's no cage keeping him here, no leash, nothing stopping him from disappearing back into the wild. A lot of people assume we somehow tamed Sunny, but the truth is exactly the opposite. We never made Sunny stay. Sunny chose this family. The first time I saw Sunny, he was just a tiny ball of fluff curled up beside a fox den. His neck and little legs were covered in wounds, and there wasn't another fox anywhere around him. Later, we learned that some local farmers considered foxes pests and often tried to drive them away, or worse. We believe Sunny's family had become victims of one of those encounters. I picked him up and rushed him straight to the veterinarian. Honestly, nobody could promise he was going to make it. He was so tiny, so weak, and one of his legs had been badly injured. I kept telling myself not to get too attached. I thought that if I didn't let myself hope too much, maybe it would hurt a little less if we lost him. But some animals make that impossible. I brought Sunny home and started caring for him right away. At the time, we already had a few cats and a young puppy named Nick. I honestly had no idea how any of them would react to having a wild fox in the house. What happened next surprised me more than anything else. The cats were curious about Sunny from the very beginning. They teased each other, played together, and seemed to accept him almost immediately. But the one who truly changed Sunny's life was Nick. Nick was still just a puppy back then. Maybe because they were both so young, neither of them seemed to notice they belonged to completely different species. All they knew was that they had found someone who wanted to play. From that day on, Sunny and Nick were practically inseparable. They raced around the yard, dug holes for reasons only they understood, and wrestled with endless energy. If you didn't know better, you'd probably think you were watching two puppies growing up together. Of course, Sunny was much better at digging. After all, he was a fox. Sometimes Nick would just start digging, and before he could even catch up, Sunny had already disappeared into the hole he had made. Watching Nick try to copy him always made us laugh. But my favorite moments always came after all the excitement. The two of them would lie down nose to nose and fall asleep together in the sunshine. Looking at them like that, it was almost impossible to believe that not long before, Sunny had been a tiny fox kit fighting just to stay alive. Little by little, Sunny began changing around us too. In the beginning, he was cautious about every movement we made. He always seemed ready to pull away. But after weeks of treatment and gentle care, he slowly realized that nobody here wanted to hurt him. Then one day, something happened that I'll never forget. Sunny rolled onto his back and let me rub his belly. I could hardly believe it. A wild fox was trusting a human enough to expose the most vulnerable part of his body. To me, that was Sunny's way of saying, I know I'm safe with you. As Sunny grew, he became one of the sweetest animals I've ever known. He loved being petted, loved following us around, and was always happiest whenever Nick was nearby. Every single day, I found myself falling in love with that little fox a little more. Thanks to all the care he received, Sunny became stronger, healthier, and full of life again. But one thing never fully recovered. His injured leg had been damaged too badly. The veterinarians eventually told us he would never have the skills or strength to survive if he were released back into the wild. At first, that news broke my heart. I had always hoped that one day Sunny would be healthy enough to return to where he belonged. But eventually, I realized something important. Sunny had already made that decision himself a long time ago. Even with every door open, he always came back home. Not because we kept him here, but because this had become his home. Every time I watch Sunny and Nick running around the yard together, I think about that tiny injured fox I found beside the den. The people who believed his life wasn't worth saving probably never imagined he would grow into such a joyful, confident little soul, not because he became someone's pet, but because he finally found people who loved him exactly as he was a fox. I think the most beautiful part of Sunny's story isn't that a fox learnt to live with dogs and cats. It's that love, patience, and kindness can completely change a life. Sunny never forgot that he was a wild fox, but somehow he also taught us that sometimes a wild animal gets to choose where it belongs. And for Sunny, that place will always be our little home.